Success is a choice, and I don't mean that in the shallow way people post it on a quote card and scroll past it. I mean it in the most real, demanding, life-altering way possible. Success is the result of decisions you make when nobody is cheering for you, when nobody is watching, when the motivation fades, when the plan gets tested, when your feelings are loud, when your past is heavy, and when your future feels far away, because the truth is that life doesn't hand you the perfect moment. It hands you a moment, and you choose what you do with it. You choose whether you stay stuck in the story that you can't, or whether you build a new story with action that proves you can. You choose whether you let circumstances define your identity, or whether you let your standards define your behavior. You choose whether you're going to live by excuses or live by values. You choose what you focus on, what you tolerate, what you repeat, and what you become. And if you can truly understand that, not just intellectually, but emotionally and practically, you will stop waiting for life to change, and you will become the kind of person who changes life. Most people want success the way they want good weather. They want it to arrive naturally, easily, and consistently, and when it doesn't, they complain about the forecast and call it fate. But successful people treat success like fitness. Something you build, something you train, something you practice until it becomes part of you. They don't feel like it every day. They don't have perfect confidence every day. They don't have perfect conditions every day, but they do have a commitment, and commitment is what carries you when inspiration disappears. If you've ever said, "I'll start when I'm ready," you need to hear this. Readiness is not a prerequisite for growth. It's often the result of growth. You get ready by doing the work, not by waiting for a feeling, because feelings change. And if your future depends on your feelings, your future will keep getting delayed. Success is a choice, but it's not one choice you make once and then you're done. Success is a series of choices you make daily, and those choices compound. The choice to get up when you want to hit snooze, the choice to practice when you want to procrastinate, the choice to learn when you want to be entertained, the choice to save when you want to spend, the choice to speak with courage when you want to stay silent, the choice to forgive yourself when you want to quit, the choice to try again when you want to retreat. And let's be honest, many people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack consistency, and consistency is not a personality trait you're born with. It's a discipline you develop. The world is full of people with potential, but potential is not a life plan. Potential is a starting point, and if you don't choose to convert potential into skill, your potential becomes a painful reminder instead of a powerful reality. That's why the winning mentality is not "I could," it's "I will." And the difference between those two words is action. You can spend your whole life saying "I could" and never create anything, because "I could" is comfortable. It protects you from the risk of failure, and it protects your ego, but it also protects you from growth. "I will" forces you to face the truth. You might fail. You might look foolish. You might be judged. You might not get instant results. You might need more time than you hoped. And you might have to learn things the hard way. But you'll move. And movement is where transformation happens. Success is not only about big moments. It's about small disciplines repeated until they become your identity. People say they want to be successful, but what they really mean is they want the reward of success without the routine of success, and life doesn't work that way. Success has a price, and the price is not just effort. It's discomfort, it's patience, it's delayed gratification, it's humility, it's the willingness to be a beginner, it's the courage to be seen learning, and it's the maturity to keep going when the first results are disappointing. If you want a different life, you have to choose different behaviors. And if you want different behaviors, you have to choose different standards, because standards are what you do when motivation is gone. A standard says, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is what I accept, and this is what I refuse. And the moment you set a higher standard, the world will test it. Not because the world is evil, but because reality always tests what you claim. If you say you're committed to your goals, the world will give you distractions. If you say you're committed to your health, the world will give you temptation. If you say you're committed to your growth, the world will give you discomfort. And your success will be determined by whether your choices match your claims. A lot of people want confidence, but they chase it the wrong way. They chase it through external validation, through compliments, through approval, through likes, through being told they're good enough, and that kind of confidence collapses the moment the approval disappears. Real confidence is built internally, and it's built the way trust is built, through reliability. When you keep promises to yourself, you build self-trust, and when you build self-trust, you build confidence. Every time you say you'll do something and you do it, you strengthen your identity. Every time you abandon your promise, you weaken it. So if you want to choose success, start with smaller commitments you can actually keep, because your brain doesn't believe your big dreams if your daily actions prove you don't follow through. Don't start by promising yourself you'll change your whole life overnight. Start by promising yourself you'll show up for 20 minutes. Start by promising you'll read a few pages. Start by promising you'll apply for one opportunity. Start by promising you'll practice one skill. Start by promising you'll have one hard conversation you've been avoiding, and then keep that promise. Because that small win is not small. It's a vote for the person you are becoming. And when you collect enough votes, your identity changes. And when your identity changes, your choices change. And when your choices change, your life changes. Success is a choice, but the first choice is not be successful. It's be responsible, because responsibility is where your power is. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control what you do next. And the moment you fully accept that, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and you become the author of your responses. People who avoid responsibility often protect themselves emotionally in the short term, but they pay for it long term. Because when you blame everything outside you, you give away the ability to change anything inside your reach. The winning mindset is not about pretending life is fair. It's about refusing to let unfairness be your excuse for stagnation. It's about saying, yes, this is hard. Yes, this is frustrating. Yes, this is not what I wanted. And I am still going to choose my next step. That next step mindset is everything, because success is rarely one giant leap. It's thousands of next steps. And the reason so many people don't get where they want to go is because they overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. They either try to sprint too hard and burn out, or they move too slowly and quit because the progress feels invisible. But the people who win play the long game. They understand compounding. They understand that skills compound, habits compound, relationships compound, knowledge compounds, and reputation compounds. And compounding rewards consistency, not intensity. You don't need one perfect week. You need many decent weeks. You don't need one perfect workout. You need many workouts. You don't need one perfect speech. You need many repetitions. You don't need one viral moment. You need a body of work. And this is where the choice becomes clear. Will you choose the short-term comfort that keeps you the same, or will you choose the long-term discipline that makes you better? Because comfort is addictive, and the comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. You can't choose comfort and growth at the same time. You can rest. Yes, you can recover. Yes, but you cannot live in comfort and expect transformation. Growth asks for discomfort, and discomfort asks for courage. And courage is not something you're born with. It's something you practice. You practice courage every time you do the thing you're scared to do. Every time you walk into uncertainty with a steady step. Every time you say, I don't know yet, but I'm willing to learn. And every time You choose action over avoidance, and avoidance is the silent killer of success, because avoidance looks harmless in the moment. One delay, one excuse, one tomorrow, one after I feel better, one when things calm down. But avoidance compounds too, and it compounds into regret. People wake up one day and wonder where the years went, and the years didn't go anywhere. They were spent on avoidance, on distraction, on coping, on waiting, on planning without acting, on consuming without creating. And here's the hard truth. If you're not careful, you can spend your entire life getting ready to live. You can spend your entire life preparing, researching, and thinking, and never actually doing. Choosing success means choosing to do, not once, but repeatedly. And doing doesn't mean doing perfectly. Doing means doing consistently and improving honestly. Because perfectionism is not excellence, it is fear. Perfectionism says, if I can't do it flawlessly, I won't do it at all. And that sounds like high standards, but it's actually self-protection. It protects you from being judged. It protects you from failing publicly. It protects you from the discomfort of learning. And while it protects your ego, it sabotages your growth. The successful person chooses progress over perfection. They choose iteration. They choose feedback. They choose to be a beginner with pride rather than a dreamer with excuses. They understand that you don't find your best version by thinking about it. You build your best version by practicing. And practice is messy. Practice includes mistakes. Practice includes awkward moments. Practice includes days when you feel like you're not improving. But the people who win accept that mess as part of the process. They don't make it mean they're not capable. They make it mean they're in training. And training is what separates a wish from a result. Another choice you have to make is what you focus on, because focus is the doorway to results. You can have all the desire in the world, but if your attention is scattered, your output will be scattered. And scattered output leads to scattered results, which leads to doubt, and doubt kills momentum. Many people think they have a talent problem when they actually have an attention problem. Their energy is leaking into too many directions, too many apps, too many arguments, too many comparisons, too many distractions. And what you give your attention to, you give your life to. So if success is your choice, you must choose what deserves your attention. You must choose what you will ignore. You must choose what you will say no to, because every yes is a trade, and successful people are willing to trade short-term entertainment for long-term elevation. They don't do it because they're better than anyone else. They do it because they have a vision that matters more than a moment. And vision is important, but vision without systems is frustration. If you want to choose success, you need a system for your days, because the quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your daily routines. Routines are not cages. Routines are freedom. They reduce decision fatigue. They protect your priorities from your moods. They help you show up even when life is chaotic. A system can be simple: a set wake time, a focus block for your most important task, a daily practice session for your skill, a workout schedule, a meal plan, a weekly review. The point is not to become robotic. The point is to become reliable. When you are reliable, your results become predictable, and predictable results build unstoppable confidence. Another choice is your relationship with failure. People who don't choose success often treat failure as a verdict, as if one setback proves something permanent about them. They fail a test and decide they're not smart. They lose money and decide they're not good with finances. They get rejected and decide they're not worthy. But failure is not a verdict, it's information. It's a signal. It's a teacher. And the people who succeed are not those who never fail. They're those who learn faster from failure and refuse to stop. They ask better questions. What did this failure teach me? What do I need to improve? What assumption was wrong? What skill is missing? What would I do differently next time? And then they take the lesson and they take action. They don't sit in shame, because shame is heavy and it makes you hide. And you can't build a great life while hiding. The choice is not between success and failure. The choice is between growth and quitting, between learning and avoiding, between trying again and giving up. And every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has had to choose again after disappointment. That's why resilience is not optional. It's not a bonus. It's the main skill. Life will test you. People will doubt you. Results will delay. Plans will break. Your emotions will fluctuate. And the only way forward is to choose to keep going. And keeping going doesn't mean grinding yourself into the ground. It means staying connected to your purpose while adjusting your strategy. It means resting without quitting. It means recovering without surrendering. It means being flexible without becoming inconsistent. And that balance between persistence and adaptation is a mark of a mature winner. Another crucial choice is the way you speak to yourself. Your inner voice becomes your environment, and you live inside it every day. If your inner voice is cruel, your mind becomes a hostile workplace, and it's hard to perform in a hostile workplace. Successful people don't always talk to themselves nicely, but they learn to talk to themselves effectively. They become their own coach. They don't lie with fake positivity, but they also don't sabotage themselves with exaggerated negativity. They replace "I can't" with "I can learn." They replace "I'm behind" with "I'm building." They replace "I always fail" with "that attempt failed, I'll adjust." They replace "I'm not good enough" with "I'm not there yet." And that word "yet" is powerful because it keeps the door open. The moment you close the door with permanent labels, you stop trying. But if you keep the door open, you keep moving. And movement is everything. Another choice is your relationship with other people's opinions. Many dreams die because someone tried to keep the peace, tried to avoid judgment, tried to be liked by everyone, tried to fit into a version of themselves that was acceptable to the crowd. But success requires a certain willingness to be misunderstood. It requires the courage to be different before you're respected, because in the beginning, when you change, people may not clap. They may question you. They may call you unrealistic. They may project their fear onto your ambition. And you have to choose whether you will live for their comfort or live for your calling. You can still be kind. You can still be humble. You can still be respectful. But you cannot shrink your potential just to protect someone else's insecurities. And that's not selfish. That's honest. Because the world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs people who are willing to grow, to create, to lead, to serve, to build. And you can't do that if you're constantly negotiating with the approval of others. Choose to be guided by your values, not controlled by opinions. Another choice is the environment you keep. Your environment includes the people around you, the content you consume, the conversations you entertain, the habits that are easy in your space, and the triggers that drag you down. A winning mindset recognizes that willpower is limited and environment is powerful. If your phone is always in your hand, distraction will win. If junk food is always around, cravings will win. If negativity is always in your ears, doubt will win. So choose your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. Clean up your space. Curate your feeds. Reduce the noise. Spend time with people who build, not just people who complain. And if you can't change your environment immediately, then change your boundaries inside it. Create time blocks. Use focus tools. Limit the inputs that weaken you, because your life becomes what you repeatedly allow. Another choice is how you handle time. Time is the one resource you cannot earn back, and yet many people spend it like it's unlimited. They delay their dreams for comfort, for distractions, for temporary pleasures, and then they act shocked when years pass. Choosing success means respecting time. It means planning your week. It means prioritizing your most important work. It means doing the hard things early. It means building a life where your calendar reflects your values. And you don't need to become extreme. You just need to become intentional. Because intention is what separates days that disappear from days that build something. And building something, anything meaningful, requires patience. You must choose patience, not passive patience where you do nothing, but active patience where you do the work while the results catch up. The world loves quick success stories, but most real success is slow. It's a long road of practice, of repetition, of quiet effort. And if you're only willing to work when progress is obvious, you'll quit before the breakthrough. The breakthrough is often hidden behind boring days. It's hidden behind the 10th attempt, the 50th rep, the 100th page, the 1,000th hour. And you have to choose to keep going long enough to reach it. Another choice is your willingness to learn. Many people's confidence is fragile because their ego is big. They don't want to admit they don't know. They don't want to ask for help. They don't want to be coached. They don't want feedback. And because they avoid learning, they stay stuck. Winners have the opposite posture. They are teachable, they study, they practice, they ask questions, they find mentors, they accept correction, and they understand that humility is not weakness. Humility is a growth strategy. The moment you can say, I don't know, but I will learn, you become unstoppable because now your progress is limited only by your willingness to work. Choosing success also means choosing health, because energy is the fuel of execution. Many people think they have a motivation problem, but they actually have an energy problem. Poor sleep, poor diet, no movement, constant stress, and constant scrolling. Their body is exhausted, their mind is foggy, and they expect themselves to perform at a high level. It doesn't work. You don't have to be perfect, but you must choose habits that support your goals. Better sleep, more water, regular movement, real food, time away from screens, moments of quiet. Because when your body feels stronger, your mind becomes stronger, and when your mind becomes stronger, your choices become better. And better choices create better outcomes. Another choice is how you respond to setbacks. Life will knock you off schedule. You will miss days. You will fall behind. You will have weeks where nothing goes right. And the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not that successful people never fall off. It's that they reset faster. They don't turn one missed day into a missed month. They don't turn one mistake into a new identity. They don't punish themselves into paralysis. They learn, they adjust, and they return. And that ability to return is a superpower, because the real enemy is not failure, it's quitting. Another choice is how you define success. If your definition is only money, only status, only applause, you may chase success and still feel empty. Real success includes growth, contribution, character, peace, relationships, and self-respect. It includes being proud of how you live, not just what you achieve. It includes being able to look at yourself in the mirror and respect your discipline, your integrity, and your courage. And choosing that kind of success means choosing to live in alignment with your values even when shortcuts are tempting. It means choosing to build rather than cheat, to earn rather than pretend, to serve rather than exploit, and to keep your standards when nobody would catch you if you lowered them. Because ultimately, the greatest victory is not what the world says about you. It's what you know about you. It's the knowledge that you did the work, that you didn't betray your potential, that you didn't abandon yourself. And that is why success is a choice. It's a choice to become someone you respect. So what does it look like right now today to choose success? It looks like choosing one goal you truly care about instead of 20 goals you talk about. It looks like breaking that goal down into a daily action you can repeat. It looks like scheduling that action in a time slot you will protect. It looks like removing one distraction that is stealing your attention. It looks like making one promise to yourself and keeping it. It looks like doing the next right thing even if you feel uncertain. It looks like refusing to negotiate with the part of you that wants comfort at the cost of your future. It looks like finishing what you start more often. It looks like learning from mistakes without drowning in shame. It looks like speaking to yourself with honesty and courage. It looks like asking for help when you need it. It looks like being consistent enough that your results have no choice but to change. And yes, it looks like sacrifice, because every meaningful choice costs something. Choosing success costs you the right to stay the same. It costs you some comfort, some entertainment, some laziness, and some excuses. But what it gives you is far greater. It gives you competence. It gives you confidence. It gives you freedom. It gives you options. It gives you pride. And it gives you a life that reflects your potential. And if you're thinking, but what if I fail? Understand this. Failure is not the opposite of success. Quitting is. Failure is part of the path. Failure is training. Failure is proof you tried. Failure is feedback. The only truly permanent failure is the decision to stop. And the reason this message matters is because you may not control where you started, but you do control what you choose next. You can choose to repeat the patterns that kept you stuck, or you can choose to become the person who breaks them. You can choose to let your past define you, or you can choose to let your vision refine you. You can choose to wait, or you can choose to work. You can choose to complain, or you can choose to create. You can choose to be comfortable, or you can choose to be capable, and capability is built, not granted. So choose it today, not with words, but with actions. Choose it when it's boring. Choose it when it's hard. Choose it when nobody notices. Choose it when you're tired. Choose it when you're afraid. Choose it when you're not sure. Because every time you choose the discipline, you strengthen the identity. Every time you choose the work, you build the skill. Every time you choose to show up, you build the momentum. And momentum changes your life. It changes your self-image. It changes what you believe is possible. And one day, if you keep making the choice, you will look back and realize you didn't just reach success, you became successful. You became the type of person who follows through, who adapts, who persists, who learns, who leads themselves, and who does what needs to be done. And that is the real message of this speech. Success is not a gift reserved for a lucky few. Success is a choice available to anyone willing to pay the price of consistency, responsibility, and courage. Not once, not when it's easy, but repeatedly, especially when it's not. So take your power back. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for confidence to arrive like a visitor, because confidence is built like a home, brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. Choose your next step. Take it, then take the next. And if you fall, reset. If you get tired, rest. If you get confused, learn. If you get scared, breathe and move anyway. And keep choosing until your choices become your life, because in the end, you are not defined by what you want. You are defined by what you repeatedly choose. And if you choose success long enough, success will stop being a dream you chase and become a reality you live.